Yeah. So today we got with us Mr. Deonte'Moss. How you doing, sir?
How you doing, sir? I'm blessed. Mr. Witcher in the
Yes. Yeah. Actor, writer, author, husband, ministry, doctor, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. That's a great
Couple years,
achievement, man. Did you ever think that you would be that? Was that something like when you was younger that you sought out for?
my wife went and actually got her doctorate, and she thought she could tell me what to do because I had a master's. So she was like, "You wash the dishes." So I was like, "You know what? I'm about to get a doctorate." And then she still told me what to do though, so it didn't really change.
Right. Right, man.
No,
So that
we had Moss and Marriage. We got a ministry that we do in a TV show called Moss and Marriage, and
uh
personal goal of ours is to go get our doctorate because my doctorate is in theology, right? The study of religion. My wife's doctor is in education. So we thought that those backgrounds would add up to the Moss and Marriage ministry that we have in TV show, where we share marriage advice, skills, tools, and challenges about marriage. So
yeah.
it was strategic, you know what I'm saying, to have doctor and doctor hosting the TV show.
Yeah, everything worked together for those who believe, And one thing I love about you, man, when we was even discussing about having you on here, it was about my wife. It was about, let me see what's going on. As men have pride and sometimes they don't want to listen to their wife, or I just let her know, but you implement it, and a marriage is a ministry in itself. So you being able to be committed and like, hey, we on one accord, and that's, I was like, man, that's dope.
Yeah, and
I told my wife, I said, he got to check with his wife, but it might, you know what I mean? Because, being married, man, and seeing people that's really into marriage and doing it the godly way and being pure with it, man, that's everything to see, especially as us Black men coming from where we come, because, it don't really be like that.
yeah, you got to. We a team. So first of all,
Yeah.
I to check with her because she does the schedule.
Oh, yeah.
So I
Yeah.
make stuff if I don't check with her. She'd be like, we were supposed to do this and we were supposed to do that. So, I gotta check with her, like, hey, is we clear? Do we got
Yeah.
anything to say? And she'd be like, no, you good, you can.
Yeah. Did you just recently have another interview I just seen on the net? You just had another interview, or is it coming up?
No, yeah, they've been coming through lately, especially because the Blade article just came out a couple days ago. So the podcast and the interviews have been coming. I got about 3-pack more podcasts to do this week. So they've been coming, but that's because the Toledo Blade and the News 13 ABC, they just did a story on me, but the Blade wrote an article on me in the newspaper about the nosy neighbor stuff that I was doing.
Okay, yeah. So how did that come about?
The nosy neighbor started just trying to make my wife laugh. I ain't gonna even lie, man. Like, the police came to my neighborhood one day, right? And everybody was on the porch, coming outside on the porch, because it was like a couple cop cars and they came with the lights, but it wasn't nothing serious. They was kind of like knocking on this door, right? So we like, what's going on? What's going on? So my neighbor I was cutting my grass. My neighbor started coming out and asking me like, hey, do you know what's going on? So my wife came on the porch. So I was like, you know what? I don't know. Let me go be nosy. Cause we always be a little bit nosy trying to figure out what's going on in our neighborhood. So I went in the house, grabbed the first thing I saw, which was a vacuum cleaner, right? So I started acting like I was vacuum cleaning the grass that was in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
And they thought it was hilarious. So they posted it on social media and it got 100 million views.
Oh.
And I was like, wow. So I'm like, they like, you got to make another one. So at the time I had a book out because I had much with writing a book and all this other stuff that I was doing. I said, I started using that as a marketing strategy and I started putting my book in the skits. It made my book bestseller. So I was, you never know how God works. It started off as something silly, but now we had 250 million views across all social media platforms. It's gained a lot of notoriety between news stations and all over. I even got a national TV spot. A TV show reached out to me, A&E Network. It's a show called Neighborhood War. So they buying like 12 TikTok videos just to post on their TV show. So
they got to use the one with the dog on the corner on the east side. Like, sit.
Lay down.
Right. Man, that's so crazy. Like how you said how God can use you. So like growing up, tell us a little about, I mean, you ain't got to go into detail for the sake of time, but like kind of describe how you growing up into to where you at right now.
Well, I wrote a book. Yeah, my book is called Push, my first book. It's Praying Until Something Happened Every Day. It's how I navigated through the juvenile justice system, foster care, drug addicted parents, right? My father was in and out of prison. I only saw him maybe 5 times before I was 21. My mother was addicted to crack cocaine. She was also a prostitute. And we ended up living with her pimp. And my mom's boyfriend, who became her pimp, ended up molesting my sister and prostituting her as well. And she became addicted to crack cocaine. So my mom and my sister worked together as prostitutes and drug addicts. And most of the drug dealers in my neighborhoods were kids that went to my school. So I would hear everything about what my mom and my sister did for drugs. So I was always in trouble in school, but my faith ended up getting me through my journey. And now I'm Dr. Deonte'Moss. So I go all over the world telling that story, selling my book, and motivating, encouraging, and inspiring youth, especially in foster care, because I lived in 10 different foster homes, 4 different group homes. Only 30% of kids in foster care graduate high school, go to higher education. Only 1% masters or a doctoral degree. I'm part of the 1%, but I want to inspire those foster kids because I don't want to be the only one. I want them to know that they have to be defined by their mothers and fathers' mistakes, and they still have to be who they're supposed to be in their life and live up to what it is, that purpose that they have to do. Because some, generational curses could be broken, and then some people can go get their family, which is something that God led me to do, to be the Joseph of my family or the Moses of my generation.
So who implemented faith? How did faith look for you as growing up? How did you know about faith and what that looked like?
I think it comes with experience, right? I always knew Jesus loved me because my nana taught me that at a very young age when I lived with her. I had an experience getting hit by a fire truck when I was a kid, right? And I was okay. And I think that from that moment I knew I was kind of covered. But then I had a mentor of mine that rocked with God, and his name was Lawrence Tribble. He was ended up being
Coach Tribb, yeah.
And I
That's
just love.
That's how. Besides school, that's how I knew all you and knew what type of a dude you was. You know what I mean? Because of Coach Tribb, and he helped me with a lot of stuff. But go ahead.
Yeah. But that was I just loved his relationship with God, and I wanted that for myself. You know what I'm saying? So he was a big part of that for me, like a spiritual father, almost a mentor. So
it reminded me of how God leaves the 99 and go get the one. Being left behind, because even though you have faith, did you have some kind of thoughts like, God, why is you doing this? Like that, did you think and wonder why you was in that situation?
I think the best time the when we get close to God comes from our own experiences. Sometimes we go through stuff that's almost like a miracle. You going through something impossible. You don't feel like that you could get through it, or it might be, it could be anything. You know what I'm saying? Like it could be like a death of a family member. It could be like you being molested, a young lady being raped, or a car accident. We all have these situations or experiences that we go through that we don't feel like we can make it out of, but then we ask God to help us in those situations, and we know it. And that's how my faith, what I'm saying, was like risen. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, dang, sometimes I didn't feel like I would make it out of certain situations, but I knew he was there and he covered me, and I did. So I'm like, whoa. My testament to testimony, my message to messages. So I'm like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Now I get paid off this story.
Yeah.
Ready to be a movie.
Yeah. What do you think, with all the different crimes and different things that's going on in our city, Toledo, what do you think can help us? Like, what do you think is missing, is lacking in our city?
See, that's a good question, because I feel like I had a personal encounter with God with that, because he kept putting me in situations that I had to look, especially with our youth. You know what I'm saying? My house was shot up not too long ago, accidentally. They were at somebody else's house and shot my house up, right? A gun was pulled at a gas station pumping my gas because short temper. I'm like, this guy just cut me off when I'm trying to drive out the gas station. And I'm like, hey, he pulled a gun out on me. I'm like, you about to shoot me for cutting me off? Like, and then it was a kid that was in a high-speed car chase with the police, almost killed himself, flipped his car over and everything. He got out and ran, but he hit 6 cars. me and my wife was the only car that wasn't total in this accident. I had a goddaughter just got shot in the head. She didn't have nothing to do. They was trying to shoot another young lady, and the guy that was driving them around, he ended up dying. So I'm like, God, what's going on? Why are all these situations so close to me, so tangible to me? What do you want me to do? And he said, it's time to get out there because hurt people hurt people. I'm down in the juvenile courts every day. I'm working in the schools, and these kids is telling me they hurt. They say, my mama don't love me. My daddy ain't been there. I don't care about nothing. So I realized that I had to go be a motivation to them, an inspiration to them, because hurt people, but heal people, heal people. So now I have to start Man Day, where I provide an atmosphere where men can come together and talk about real life situations that they don't get to talk about. They think they're the only one going through. So I started that last year. Then I go down YTC, the Youth Treatment Center, where my wife works, and I do Bible study on Mondays. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to, let them know that there is a way out. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to stay where you are. There is a purpose for your life. So God started having me doing stuff or going back to the schools and talking to, collectively doing a whole bunch of things to give back, because I could see that we in like a state of danger and our kids don't have no guidance. They don't know what's the next step. They don't even know get their purpose. But I'm just trying to teach them that if you seek him first, if you seek, everything else will be added. And that's been my experience. You know what I'm saying? I didn't plan for none of the success that God has blessed me with right now. But only thing is him, put him first. And then everything else was added. I just did what he told me.
So like, and being with them speaking out, what you think is a good thing that to get their identity? Because a lot of them seem like they don't have identity. The identity is what they see on TV, what they hear. You know how he even says how things you can get distracted by your eye gaze, your ear gaze, what flows in your mind, and all that different things. So with them being hurt, and then with them seeing stuff and trying to confide in the wrong thing, you doing that is really being a blessing. And other people need to take the initiative and be able to get involved too, because it's a lot of men that's believers that believe in God and doing the same thing too. But where two or three are gathered in the mix, he is there. So we really need for the men to be gathered together, even praying and to intercede, because you doing it, but what about somebody else that can do it, that's a believer that know God as well, and that's what I just be believing in, that we as men need to stand up in our rightful ship and be able to speak and pray with confidence and not worry about what's going on to get the young youth back, because it's so much crazy stuff going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the only thing I try to give them is my experience. And my experience, what saved my life was my faith. But I just want to get to wherever it is that they can get to change their dynamic or their atmosphere, right? LeBron James basketball, right? Or Maya Angelou's poems. You know what I'm saying? Just whatever it is that take you away, that you're passionate about, is gonna save your life.
Yeah, man, I really agree with that, man. And it's just a blessing to have you, man. I want to give you your flowers and, wish blessings on you and your family as well, because I see all the work that you doing, and I see that you for real with it. Like a lot of times people is just doing it just to be doing it for notoriety. Here, you don't even want that, but God is putting you in position and opening up them doors and putting you in front of the right people because of your testimony and what he's doing. And, being saved and walking this walk, it ain't easy. We need God, to be able to help us. But when you're doing it for real, it's something, because so many people be using God and religion. So now people looking at, I don't trust church, I don't trust people. Or now they're, trying to switch and change up what Christianity is and, having their own doctorates. But so when you doing and you living and you working the word, what you are doing, man, change gonna come, because your
that know me,
man is answered.
And anybody that knows me knows this been me forever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's just that now the world is being opened up to it because of the nosy neighbor hype, right?
Yeah.
Because I've always been the person to share inspiration, motivation, encouragement. I used to do it to my family and friends at 5 o'clock in the morning. They used to get mad at me, like, quit texting me at 5 in the morning. So when like social media came along, texting them, I just share it on my social media, MySpace, and then it got Facebook when we was in college. So I started sharing it to that. And so it was like a transition for me. So it's always been me. It's always been my page. I've always been doing this. But now, because I got this giant following from the nosy neighbor, everybody's like just now recognizing it. You know what I'm saying? Because at first they wanted with my family and my friends who knew me. But now you came to see Nosy Neighbor, but you found out I was an author. You know what I'm saying? You came to see Nosy Neighbor, but now you see I got my Pray For Me line, or you came to see Nosy Neighbor. Now I got a TV show about marriage. You know what I'm saying? It's like I maximized it by just already having stuff in place. It's just the notoriety came with the Nosy Neighbor, but now they figuring out I'm doing so much other stuff, and now it's getting
look, acting. Now you got movies. Well, how did that come about? I seen the movie.
So I went to school for theater, broadcasting communication, minor in theater at University. So I've always done the acting. I was actually a drama teacher for a while in the school system. So it's always been something I've been doing. So plays, movies, all that kind of stuff. And now it's just now catching on. Like this movie that we just had out on Tubi.
Yeah.
We made in 2015. It's just making it to Tubi. But it's like 10 movies. So it's about to be like a domino effect. And then I've still been making them. I never stopped making them. So we just got one on Amazon Prime, Secret First Lady. We got the Under on Tubi. We got one that's coming out later this year. Got a chance to be on HBO. The When Men Cry. We got a movie coming out in Toledo called with Say Cheers Enterprises. That's called No Love. So it's something that we've always been doing. It's just now because of the following, because everybody they know about it.
I say about the car as the cop. Was he the cop, right? Louis L. In the movie.
Yeah, that's Under on Tubi. Yeah. The detective.
And I just was talking to him. He was in California with his music group and all like that, doing with Christian hip hop. So I have been promoting and trying to have people to change what they listening to and just switch it up. So we was just messaging the other night, and I'm telling him like that's good what you doing too, because they need to know it's a different sound. They need to know Christian hip hop is not whack, and he listening to the words, and God can use the rappers by what they saying in their lyrics to touch the people and move people. So that's man, I love seeing all that, man. It's just so amazing, man. It's just so amazing.
And we ain't gonna stop. We've been doing this. So what I'm saying? It's just we're all catching up now. The world's catching up.
Yeah. All right, man.
Movies. My first movie that I was ever gonna be in, my first main role, my wife didn't want me to take it. We had just got married, and she didn't want me to take it because they said they wanted me to kiss another young lady. And my wife was like, nah, you can't do it. I turned that role down because she wasn't comfortable, right? So my wife in every movie and play that I've played in since then has played my girlfriend or my wife.
You know who? It's somebody else like that. Dude that used to play white dude. He a Christian, but I forgot what movie it is. His wife is the same way.
Hey, so now my wife become this accredited actor just because she wanted to play my wife in every movie, and now we got movies out together. It's crazy, like what I'm saying. Like, nope, I'm gonna be your fake wife, your real wife, ain't nobody gonna be your wife but me.
All right, very, like you said, y'all marriage is y'all ministry. Yeah. Well, I appreciate this, man. I ain't gonna hold you up, man. I love you. Blessings to you, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Let God continue to use you. I pray he open up doors and give you favor and give you the capacity to be able to use you the way that he want to.
Hey, man, much appreciated. Thank you for having me on your platform, and God bless you, Mr.
Yeah, God bless you too, man.
All right.